11 things unborn babies can do in the womb. 1. Your baby is learning how to love you. The most astounding and amazing part of pregnancy is that your baby, throughout the entire 9 months, is learning who you are. A baby's mother is the first person they have a connection with because they are quite literally connected to you. That's not all though. Your baby can sense changes in your mood and temperament, and they can also recognize the sound of your voice as well as your heartbeat. All of these things will be comforting to them once they've made it outside, because they've spent 9 months learning how to love every part that you've shared with them. 2. Did you catch that smile? Yes, unborn babies can smile. As I've said before, it's truly amazing what babies can do before they even exit the womb that they've called their home for 9 months. While they're experimenting with all kinds of facial features, they'll eventually figure out how to curl the edges of their mouth up into that expression that every mom waits and hopes for early on. Smiling babies are happy babies, and it's really something special to be able to capture this moment during an ultrasound. Don't worry if you haven't though. Your baby will be smiling plenty when they're able to hear your voice. 3. Baby gymnastics. If you've ever been swimming in a deep pool where you couldn't feel the bottom very easily, this is what it's like for your baby inside the womb. They're floating around in amniotic fluid, and in the last month, it'll probably feel like they've actually attempted to rearrange your internal organs. It's normal for them to move around a bit, since they are floating. An active baby is one that's getting ready to come out soon, so they'll perform their own little acts and get somewhat restless, which will let you know that it's almost time to meet face to face. Number 4. Sleep away, tiny baby. Babies are really good at one thing: sleeping. Newborns are good at it, but unborn babies are the absolute pros when it comes to dozing off. It's hard work being a growing baby, and these are times you'll probably be thankful for when they're kicking non-stop all night. Sleep is good because it means your baby is comforted and able to get much needed rest that will help their development and growth. It's also what they do most of the time, so you can really only hope that their sleep schedule will somewhat coincide with you. Otherwise, get ready to count those kicks. 5. Kicking is obviously a thing. The most familiar and sometimes painful thing an unborn baby can do is kick. This doesn't mean that they hate you or are unsatisfied or angry inside the womb. It just means that they're well aware that they now have legs. As babies grow, they'll continue to stretch and move around inside of your womb. And these are things you'll definitely notice. Kicking is a sign of normal growth and a really wonderful part of pregnancy, because it's the first time your baby is truly interacting with you. Doctors will tell you to keep a kick count because the number of times your baby repeatedly kicks will give them a good idea of activity level in regards to development. 6. Hiccups are the cutest. This is something that's known to happen when a mom-to-be starts eating spicy food. While your baby can't taste exactly what you're eating, they will sense that bit of spice, thus potentially sending them into a cute little hiccup frenzy. Unborn babies hiccup just like newborn babies would, but for some reason it's just so much more amazing when they're doing it from within the womb. If you're a fan of spicy foods, always keep your phone nearby for a potential video moment. 7. Do you hear that applause? There is, on record, an ultrasound of a baby clapping from within the womb. This peculiar, adorable moment happened when music was presented to the unborn baby, and in response, they decided to get down and boogie with the beat. As your pregnancy comes to a close, it's easy to forget that your baby is a fully grown newborn, capable of sensing almost all things that you can. Music is a helpful tool in these last few months because it'll trigger your child's auditory sense, and maybe you'll even get applause from them too. 8. Would you believe they dream? When moms ask, "What is my baby doing in there all the time?" the answer is quite simple: they're sleeping. While a baby develops, there's not much for them to do other than sleep as time goes by. Not to mention, there are very important processes taking place that benefit from a well-rested baby. If you imagine that you're underwater, it's fairly dark, and everything around you is calm with a steady rhythm of a heartbeat. It'd probably be pretty easy for you to sleep, too. So, of course, with sleeping comes dreaming. Babies have been shown to dream while in the womb, which is seriously the sweetest thing. 9. In some cases, unborn babies can cry. In studies done on pregnant women who smoked, Ultrasounds have shown that babies actually have the ability to do something akin to what we'd consider crying. In the womb, they are monitored and viewed as making gasping expressions and wrinkling their faces, which is pretty identical to what happens when a baby actually cries. Of course, you wouldn't be able to hear any of this, but it's proof positive that your baby knows exactly what they're doing when they let out that first initial wail that moms wait for. This isn't the first sign that has shown that babies react though. 10. Their hearing is on point. That's right, your baby's sense of sound is one of the first senses to develop while they're in the womb. Many people will suggest playing music or singing during this time, but really, what your baby is looking for is the sound of your voice. It has been proven that babies are able to recognize the familiarity of their mother's voice when they're born, which means they can bond with the tone and pitch of your voice. Not only will it be comforting to them as a growing baby, but once they're born, they'll always know that you're somewhere nearby. 11. They take bathroom breaks. You might not want to believe it, but it's true. Your unborn baby does occasionally need to use the bathroom. While it's said that they'll hold in number 2 until after birth, studies have shown that babies definitely urinate during the 9 months they're growing. Everything gets rather mixed up in the amniotic fluid they're floating in, and really, using the bathroom is a sign that your baby is healthy, active, and growing at a good rate. And hey, for the time being, it's better than changing diapers. They'll have to learn how to go at some point in time, right?